You know, Disney Plus is a major force in the streaming world right now, of course, very quickly amassed a huge amount of subscribers, basically because it's Disney and the library they have. But they kicked off Disney Plus with one show, and pretty much one show for almost an entire year before they started putting out more real content. And that was The Mandalorian. And right from the end of the first episode, when that damn little hand came out of the basket and frickin' Baby Yoda became a thing, Mandalorian became a massive global hit, right? And of course, we've had Mandalorian season 2, which ended with a great cliffhanger. We had Mandalorian season 2.5, also known as the Book of Boba Fett, came out as well. All that kind of stuff, but everybody's looking forward to Mandalorian season 3. But we also have more shows coming out that all seem to be happening in this time frame that Mandalorian happens in, right? We've got the Ahsoka series coming, which from all reports sounds like it could have called it Rebels the movie, but they're calling it an Ahsoka series. We got the Book of Boba Fett that's happening in the same time frame. And apparently even that new one, Skeleton Crew, that Jude Law is in, apparently that all happens in this time frame as well. And then there was going to be another one, but then they pulled the plug on it. What was it called? The Galactic Rangers or Rangers of the Republic Rangers, something like that. That they ultimately pulled the plug on, but even that one was going to take place in the same time period. Now, because of all that, there's been a lot of speculation and rumors that at some point, what they're really doing here is building up to a massive Mandalorian universe crossover movie, where you would have Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Boba Fett, whoever the Rangers of the New Republic were going to be, you're going to have whatever. And your ultimate big bad guy was going to be Grand Admiral Thrawn, which I think everybody believes they're angling to be the big baddie of Ahsoka and probably might become the big baddie of the entire universe right now in this time frame. Well, according to Jon Favreau, the likelihood of that may not be high because of course, Jon Favreau is kind of the main architect of this whole thing that's going on right now. And he's kind of saying, they asked him directly if they think this is something they're going to be doing. And he gave an answer that's not going to thrill a lot of people. He said this when asked about the idea of there being a big crossover movie. He said, there's always an opportunity when you have a set of characters and stories that people, that people connect with, that you could cross media into different areas. Marvel does it quite effectively. Of course, he was one of the guys that helped Marvel do that. It's just a matter of where our time should be spent and what the appetite of the audience is. With all these stories we're telling, it definitely is a full-time job just keeping this going with what we are doing now. Television has a much different rhythm and schedule than film does. Basically, in essence, Jon Favreau is saying, we think we're going to keep things on television. We think we're going to keep doing this thing. Now, look, he doesn't definitively come out and say, no movie for you. He didn't come out and definitively say that. And, I think fairly soon we're going to have a new Lucasfilm boss who may want to have all this crossover into a movie, and that will ultimately be their decision. But it sounds like Jon Favreau's like, look, we're having success because we're doing it this way. And I think we're going to keep it this way. Rob, do you think that ultimately at the end of the day, we're going to get like a Mando universe crossover film? Or do you think they're going to do, like Jon Favreau says, look, it's a full-time job just doing what we're doing right now. Do you think they're just going to keep it that way? And how would you approach it?
Well, I think that they are probably going to have certain characters interact, whether, it's Luke Skywalker showing up on Mando or Boba Fett showing up, or Mando showing up in Boba Fett. I still think they're going to do that kind of a thing because, look, these shows were designed specifically for Disney Plus. They were designed to drive subscriptions to Disney Plus, and I think they're going to stay on Disney Plus. I really do. And making a movie, I don't know. I mean, I think this show works. It's you could make a movie, I guess, but would that movie be like what they did with The Defenders on Netflix and put the movie and keep the movie on Disney Plus and not release it theatrically? Maybe, but I could definitely see them making a movie, a Star Wars movie set in this era where these characters showed up. But I don't know if they would do a movie that was only designed to be a crossover with these characters. I could see like Grand Admiral Thrawn, I think, is a much bigger villain, and it's you could introduce a whole new cadre of Imperial officers along with Grand Admiral Thrawn. And I think, again, Thrawn would be a great foil here, but I don't think that we're going to get a movie. I think if anything, we'll get a crossover series. That would be cool.
Yeah, I think that's another one that's probably, I would probably give that one a higher probability than, say, a movie. Although, I think my preference would be a movie. I think I would love to see this on the big screen, but I think you're right. I think the most, because there's precedent for this, right? If you look back at the Marvel Netflix series, right? They had Daredevil, they had Jessica Jones, they had Luke Cage, they had Iron Fist, and then they created a season of television just for all those combined.
That's what I said. Yeah,
so there is precedent for that.
I think, and it was good. It wasn't as good as it could have been, but it was
Defenders.
Good. Yeah,
it was all right.
It was all right. I enjoyed it. I like seeing the characters get together. I mean, crossovers are always fun. They're never not fun for the audience unless they really suck. But I've loved crossovers in comic books. I've loved them in movies. I've loved them in TV shows. I've always loved that. And when they're good, when they're well done, the thing about these shows is already, like, Ahsoka has her entire backstory in Clone Wars. So these are characters that are already cemented in place. It's not like they're creating a new character. They're giving you characters that have history. So when you put them together, there's gravitas there. It's not like some brand new character that you don't know. So I think, and that would be exciting. A Disney Plus event, a Star Wars. I mean, who wouldn't watch that?
Yeah, a 6-part, because that's what they seem to do.
Yeah.
A 6-part series, yeah. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? I mean, I would like to see this on a big crossover like this on the big screen, set up over like 3 or 4 different seasons of television. But I don't know. It doesn't sound like that's what Jon Favreau is going to do. Do you think ultimately they will go that direction? Maybe a crossover season of television. Maybe they just don't do anything to keep it all separate. How do you guys think this is going to play out? Whatever you think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Guys, we want to take a second and thank a sponsor of this video, ExpressVPN. You've heard me talk about how important it is to have a VPN to protect your online privacy, but choosing a VPN you trust is equally as important. Now, I like to do research on my sponsors, and I only recommend brands to my listeners that I believe in, and I can say with full confidence that ExpressVPN is the best VPN on the market, and here's why. Number 1, ExpressVPN doesn't log your activity online. Lots of cheap or free VPNs make money by selling your data to advertisers, but ExpressVPN doesn't do this. They even developed a technology, Trusted Server, that makes their VPN servers incapable of storing any data at all. Number 2, speed. ExpressVPN now uses Lightway, a new VPN protocol they engineered to make user speeds faster than ever. ExpressVPN is always blazing fast and lets me stream videos in HD quality with zero buffering. The last thing that really sets ExpressVPN apart is how easy it is to use. You don't need any technical skills to get set up. Just fire up the app and tap one button to connect. That's it. Even your grandparents could do it. And it's not just me saying this. CNET, Business Insider, The Verge, and many other tech journals rate ExpressVPN the #1 VPN in the world. So protect yourself with a VPN that I use and trust. Use my link, expressvpn.com/Campea today and get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. Visit expressvpn.com/Campea to learn more.